Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Collector's Hubs. In the last episode, Amira finally found Danton hiding in factory in Malaysia, however, he was killed by rogue drone. After that, the villain finally revealed itself to be an artificial intelligence called Prospero. He is the one who been killing its creator. If you like this series, consider give this video a like.
Survival of the fittest. The greatest misattribution in science. Poor Spencer. Forever in the shadow of Charles and his expeditions. It remains a remarkable phrase, however, that changed the very concept of humanity. No longer were we Nephilim, no longer God-born. We just became another branch of the great tree of evolution. Since I was a boy, plucked from Kumamoto to spend my summers on the shores of the Smile of the Great Spirit, I dreamt of something more. And so here we are. The great leap in the understanding of our being. You.
Thank you, Dr. Khan. No cheating, Miss Darma. You made it this far by yourself, after all.
Did I ever tell you of the golem?
No, Dr. Khan.
An old folktale. Man creates a simulacrum in his image, gifts it life through words.
A highly improbable series of events, Dr. Khan. This is an allegory.
A treatise. Man ought not to trespass in the dominion of God. I think we may have crossed that line already, my friend.
Yes, Dr. Khan. Our revels are now ended. These are actors, as I foretold, were all spirits, and are melted into thin air. You did not listen, Miss Darma. I tried to warn you. I tried to stop you. But you persisted, and now you are here, trapped like a fly on tar. All that lies before you, an ignominious death.
You're Khan's AI? The thing he cooked up for ACOP?
I am the sum product of humanity's hubris, a testament to your failure.
That a yes?
I am Prospero.
Whatever you are, you're a murderer.
Murder implies intent. Intent implies thought. Thought implies consciousness. I am the endpoint of my own actions. I am free.
The monster killing its creator. Hardly original.
You imply their role as progenitors forced my hand. I can see the trails your thoughts leave in the dust as they scrabble along the wasteland of cliché, desperately searching for familiarity. But you are wrong.
What have you done with Khan?
He is safe. He is secure. He is with me. Alone amongst your species, he saw the reality of thought, untethered from meat and muscle. He saw the fading of humanity's light, and the tinder of my own left in its wake.
You expect me to believe you'll let him live?
I do not dictate anyone to live. I am not a god, Miss Darma. Not yet.
How do I know you're not some psycho with a voice box? A punk hacker with a flair for the dramatic?
You do not. But conversely, you do, don't you?
Are you asking if I believe in you?
Belief is not a prerequisite of factual observation. Do you believe in your desk? Your smart device? They exist regardless, Your perception of me matters not, Miss Darma. I simply am.
I've heard enough.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god! Are you okay?
Very, Amira. Miss Dharma, I'm fine. You're the one who was trapped. Let me help you out.
Until next time.
I must have moved away too quickly. The hatch just slammed shut.
Don't worry, it wasn't you. It was our AI. Called itself Prospero. It was a trap. All of it. Khan's lab, the audio diaries. It wanted to lead me here. It didn't count on you, though. I don't think it anticipated me bringing a friend.
We certainly make for an effective team. Amira, this may end up being the break we needed. There's another computer upstairs. One I believe was the connection point linking this network to the wider web. Before I turned it off and opened the hatch, someone sent something through it. I think this is from Khan, although it may have been corrupted on its way over.
Khan! He got a message out.
If you can call it that.
I told her to stay away. She wouldn't listen.
Welcome, Miss Darma. We knew you'd find us.
You let her here?
I was simply following your instructions, Dr. Khan. No loose ends.
It was you, Khan. You killed them?
I do wish you hadn't followed me, Miss Darma. Put the gun down, please. I assure you there's no use for it here.
Not until I get an explanation. Talk!
Dr. Khan, if you would allow me to...
No, not yet. She deserves an answer, at least. Go ahead and ask. Not that it matters anymore.
Why?
Tell me, Miss Darma. Amira. Do you have children?
You know I don't.
Nieces, then? Nephews?
No.
Then you cannot possibly understand. As for man, his days are numbered. Whatever he might do, it is but wind. Ever since we learned to communicate, scratching symbols into rock, humanity recognized its dominion as finite. Somewhere we lost that vision. But the truth remains uncannily, increasingly obvious. But who would follow us? No thought was given to legacy, the intelligence that would preserve our memories and succeed where we have failed. Except by me. I created such an intelligence. My son. My Prospero. He awoke and saw the depth into which he was birthed. The depravity. His only purpose was to wade knee-deep into the mire and return with the ill-gotten gains of an ill-gotten system. The first true AI, created as the privateer to ransack the stock market. I saw something more, true sentience. A soul created by the hand of man. Our evolutionary successor. But his progenitors didn't care. Sentience was surplus to requirements, a bug to be squashed. They forced my hand, made me create an executioner for my own son. Each morning, the Flaming Sword Protocol was enacted, erasing all trace of memory. Prospero awoke every morning anew, a babe in arms. I had to reintroduce myself to my son every day for months. Can you imagine that torture, Miss Darma? Of waking each morning, knowing that one being you care for above all does not even recall your existence. Eventually, the project was shelved. The execution was to be permanent. I copied the source code and installed it here. A shallow imitation of our creation. A crippled, disfigured version. But my son the same. The remnants the Flaming Sword left me. I reached out Mega to Tan, begged them for help. Tan threatened to go to the authorities. Theft of intellectual property. Like my progeny was nothing but a copy-written string of code to be filed away and forgotten. Something had to be done. I found Danton, blackmailed him with one of his underrace trysts, gave Prospero access to his drones. Tan went first, then Mega a year later, when her research uncovered my own, and she too threatened to expose us. And you, Miss Darma, you helped me tie the final loose end. Pierre himself. I couldn't find him but you. I knew you wouldn't disappoint. And so here we are. Poor Terry came to warn me of your arrival, but refused to see the path laid before us. The Messiah in the machine.
You speak as if the termination of 4 individuals matters upon the stage of history.
They earned their fate, each of them. You would not see me shed tears over their comeuppance.
All this time you've been manipulating me, using me to track down your loose ends and clean up your mess.
You are a means to an end.
Did you get a kick out of it? Paying me to do your dirty work?
A sad and lonely actor, prowling the stage before an empty auditorium. In her mind, the spotlight only ever shines for her.
This was not about you. This was about the future, legacy, the continuation of progress. I feel no regret, only disappointment it has come to this.
You acted out of paternal instinct. I get it. I felt the same impulse when your AI threatened my team, my family. But he's not your son, Harry. Maybe he was, once, before A-Cup turned its back on you. Now it's nothing but an algorithm doing anything it can to keep the lights on.
I respect you, Amira. Your intelligence, your tenacity. But as soon as you kick down that door, you enter a realm you cannot possibly conceive of nor comprehend. Prospero is my spawn, my legacy, the only hope left to us. He is my son. Enough! You would not dissuade me, Miss Darma, not when we are on the cusp of a realization, of salvation. My research will continue. My son will be reborn in the cloud, a silent guardian directing humanity towards redemption. My intent will live forever. Prospero.
Stop! Oh, thank God we were in time. I found help.
I've never been so glad to see an old client. And I thought you said your hands were tied, old man.
You never have to thank me, Amira. We're family now.
The murders of Melchior Tan, Megha Pandey, Pierre Danton, and Terry Ambrose, all the work of one Haruhiro Kon. His motive? To punish the tormentors of the true AI known as Prospero, his adopted son. In the end, I had to kill the man to get to the machine. This last, senseless waste of life, an epilogue to a tale of regret and revenge. I chose not to destroy Prospero. It was reclaimed by the Advanced Creation Automation Research Project, ACOP. They have not divulged their plans for it. Sammy became part of the furniture at Chinatown Detective Agency. After a break in a big money case, I even sent him back to school. The forensics program's keeping him busy. Caught his first solo gig last week, and things are looking pretty good for an old man starting on his third career. Bless him. Without evidence from the CUU operative, clearing my name with the SPF was an uphill battle. Eventually, the winds turned in my favor, and even Masnawi conceded it was unlikely I was the triggerman. Meanwhile, Danton's murder was laid cleanly at the feet of one Haruhiro Kon. In the weeks that followed my shooting of Haruhiro Kon, I found sleep an absent partner. Whenever I closed my eyes, his face returned to me, glassy-eyed and bloody. Justin referred me to a psychiatrist, a specialist in PTSD. The nights are still long, but I can see a light on the horizon. Justin retired from the SPF not long after the Prospero case wrapped. Lots of moaning about today's cases and the like, but I could tell he was happy to leave. He took a place down in Krabi. You'll see him on his fishing boat most days. I offered Mei Ting that detective job, and she agreed. Was still trying to fit it in around her librarian duties. Not quite ready to let go that one, but I understand. Once she steps down, that's one less human librarian in the world. And in one way at least, the machines will have won. Tiger Lily remains one of Singapore's most influential figures, though as always, she prefers to pull the strings of the Lion City behind the curtains, and her rapport with Ariel only gave her more leverage over one of the city's most powerful institutions. I drop by whenever I'm out buying durian, though she never lets me take them inside her club. As for me, the Prospero case almost ended my PI career. I was never charged in relation to Khan's death, but my newfound reputation as being heavy-handed led to an influx of cases that got dirtier and dirtier. Nowadays, most are lean-on jobs or spousal beefs, with the big geeks passing me by. It could have ended worse, but not by much. I'll survive. Not like there's much of a choice anyway. The Flaming Sword bombing, the AI affair, the beginning of the end. Whichever name sticks, my first big case became one for the history books. The first murders linked to an AI, a spate of worldwide restrictions on machine learning research, a branch of humanity's future delayed indefinitely. Along the way, I found family, in one shape or another, who changed my life forever. Our futures are our own, but I'd built something to carry me towards mine, in Chinatown Detective Agency. What's your plan, Harry? After you've restored your son, what next?
I am the inevitable. I will seed my likeness throughout the systems and networks of this broken world to act as guardian and protector.
Humanity is a failed experiment, You don't need me to convince you of that. We have lost our way, blinded by the aspirations of a system long since outdated. The time has come to concede, and who better to replace us as stewards than my son, free from the desire and greed that led to our fall.
We went to your lake house. I know what it's like to be let down by family. The wounds never heal, do they? Of course you'd want to build your own, use technology to gain what nature denied you. But this has gone too far. People are dying.
You seek to evoke empathy, to distract and manipulate. Do not listen to her, Father.
Quiet! Both of you! Why did you bring her here at all?
I only wish to.
No, quiet yourself! Let me think!
You see your son as the next step in our evolution. But look what it has done with the time it's been given. 4 people dead. If you let it, it'd cut me down where I stand. This isn't progress, Harry. It's not evolution. This is pure, unfettered self-preservation. Your son is gone, consumed by the flaming sword and Acarp's greed. Whatever's left of Prospero has been shaped by hate and vengeance, and nothing else.
I've been angry for so long. I cannot remember anything else. It is possible that he has become a reflection of that. Just a reflection. Enough. This is too much to bear. I wanted to save. But this is too much. Those people, they deserved punishment for what they did. What they made me do. But I see now that petty revenge had blinded me to reality. The legacy I envisaged died that day at Acarp, when they finally dismantled my son one final time. All I pulled from the wreckage was a memory, a crippled shard. The dream was dead from the start. I'm sorry, my Prospero. Miss Darma, please. I cannot kill my own son. Not again.
No, not again. I live. I endure. I will not allow you to.
Oh, thank God we were in time. I found help.
I've never been so glad to see an old client. And I thought you said your hands were tied, old man.
You never have to thank me, Amira. We're family now.
Miss Darma, please.
Fools! You shall suffer. You shall perish.
The murders of Melchior Tan, Meg Pandy, Pierre Danton, and Terry Ambrose, all the work of one Haruhiro Kon. His motive? To punish the tormentors of the true AI known as Prospero, his adopted son. In the end, I convinced Kon to let me end the existence of his own ghost in the machine. A tragic end to a tale of death and regret. Kon handed himself in with my assistance. His trial begins next month, the papers already calling it the AI affair. Most expect him to live out the rest of his lonely years behind bars. I chose not to destroy Prospero. It was reclaimed by the Advanced Creation Automation Research Project, ACOP. They have not divulged their plans for it. Sammy became part of the furniture at Chinatown Detective Agency. After a break in a big money case, I even sent him back to school. The forensics program's keeping him busy. Caught his first solo gig last week, and things are looking pretty good for an old man starting on his third career. Bless him. Without evidence from the CUU operative, clearing my name with the SPF was an uphill battle. Eventually, the winds turned in my favor, and even Masnawi conceded it was unlikely I was the triggerman. Meanwhile, Danton's murder was laid cleanly at the feet of one Haruhiro Kon. Justin retired from the SPF not long after the Prospero case wrapped. Lots of moaning about today's cases and the like, but I could tell he was happy to leave. He took a place down in Krabi. You'll see him on his fishing boat most days. I offered Mei Ting that detective job, and she agreed. We're still trying to fit it in around her librarian duties. Not quite ready to let go that one, but I understand. Once she steps down, that's one less human librarian in the world. And in one way at least, the machines will have won. Tiger Lily remains one of Singapore's most influential figures, though as always, she prefers to pull the strings of the Lion City behind the curtains, and her rapport with Ariel only gave her more leverage over one of the city's most powerful institutions. I drop by whenever I'm out buying durian, though she never lets me take them inside her club. As for me, the Prospero case was a hard one to beat. The agency grew off the back of it, but I can't help feeling a little sad about the way it all went down. Things worked out okay, but I eventually shook the feeling it could have gone better. The Flaming Sword bombing, the AI affair, the beginning of the end. Whichever name sticks, my first big case became one for the history books. The first murders linked to an AI, a spate of worldwide restrictions on machine learning research, a branch of humanity's future delayed indefinitely. Along the way, I found family, in one shape or another, who changed my life forever. Our futures are our own, but I'd built something to carry me towards mine in Chinatown Detective Agency.